This is Hope Channel Zambia television that changes lives. A warm welcome to the news. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Government has closed unsanitary restaurants operating at KALIMUKWA bus station in Lusaka. The Socialist Party claims that the cholera situation in the country will dent the image of President Hakainde Hichilema as cholera champion. The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, in collaboration with the Adventist Church in Zambia, has donated goods worth 100,000 kwacha in the fight against cholera to the Lusaka District Health Office. And a 48-year-old Lundazi man has been murdered on allegation of committing adultery. The stories plus more coming up in a moment. To stay with us.
Welcome to Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School.
Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School is enrolling pupils for the 2024 academic year in junior and senior secondary education. This educational institution is a co-Christian boarding school run by the Seventh-day Adventist Church and offers grade 8 to 12 education. Located on the outskirts, 5 kilometers north of Chisamba town in Central Province of Zambia, Chisamba District Education Board ranks the school third in academic performance in the district. With our conducive and learner-friendly environment, our pupils are able to excel tremendously in their academic journey.
Distance along a latitude, which is a small circle. So what formula do we use?
Our learners are imparted with vast knowledge in practical agricultural production units that will help them become entrepreneurs when they leave school.
My name is SINKOZI. I'm in grade 10B and I take agriculture. We grow crops so that we can provide for the school and supply for those that come here around to also buy them so that we can also earn a living here.
They proudly bring their children to our school. They believe in the quality of education that is offered here.
We encourage you to bring your children to Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School. You have tried the rest. Try the best now.
For more details, you can contact us on 0976261285 or 0979908216, or you can email us on Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School at gmail.com. Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School, training the head, the heart, and the hand.
Thank you so much for choosing to watch the broadcast of the news from various platforms. I'm Bright SINKOZI with the details. George KALIMUKWA is our sign language interpreter. Some restaurants have been closed at some section of KALIMUKWA bus station due to poor sanitary conditions. Lusaka Minister Sheo Mulyata closed the restaurants when she toured the bus station. Ms. Mulyata has also directed the Lusaka City Council to drain flood water from the bus station. In response to the directive, Lusaka City Council Public Health Director Victor Kagoli said the authority will immediately, beginning tomorrow, start draining the flood water from the bus station. Mr. Kagoli said the council is working hard to ensure that the public is provided with better services that will keep them safe from the outbreak of cholera. We have details in this report.
We have closed this restaurant. Could you pick up please? It's for your own good and everyone here.
Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Mulyata paid an impromptu visit on some bus stations in Lusaka. Her visit is aimed at ensuring that preventable measures of cholera pandemic are put in place. In KALIMUKWA bus station, Ms. Mulyata is disappointed with the situation of floods. This situation prompted her to close some restaurants within the station.
That is an order. No one should cook. Kulib pick up. Kulib. Aza pwanya mawa metikamba inachinja manje la mulo ni 6 months mje. Sunga fune kungena 6 months mje. Sunga fune. Pali doti. simu ngapi nanga spuni olo mutiko olo mbale olo nichani chagwera manzi upika uchita bwanji pamenapo watenga futi wambopa kula. No. Now so it's closed.
The minister has with immediate effect directed the Lusaka City Council to drain floods from the station, and LCC Public Health Director Victor Kagoli promised the minister that the local authority will move in tomorrow.
When they were building Simon there, they built the drainage which was supposed to be receiving on top of this one. This one is down. So this one, as it receives water, taking there where it is the last point, it is not able to take because it's on top. So I was telling the engineer just now, but he says they have done an alternative, which is going to connect with this one. That is the major problem.
Earlier, the minister, Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu, and Provincial Health Director toured intercity bus terminus and sensitized bus drivers, conductors, and passengers. The minister and her entourage also distributed chlorine to the public. Esna Timbewa Sikazwe, Hope News, Lusaka.
The Cholera Task Force Committee, comprising of Local Government Minister Gary Nkombo, Water and Sanitation Minister Mike Mposha, Community Development and Social Services Minister Doreen Mwamba, and Health Minister Sylvia Masebo, have successfully launched the Cholera Vaccination Administration Program in one of the cholera hotspot, George Compound, in Lusaka District of Lusaka Province. Speaking to the media, Health Minister Ms. Masebo said the committee will implement the law on all citizens to ensure the number of cholera-related deaths is brought to zero. The minister said officers will be deployed in the streets to ensure there is no sale of street food or cooking on the street as advised by health personnel to be cholera threatening. And Local Government Minister Gary Nkombo said local government will continue to engage with bus drivers, marketeers, traders, among others, in order to beat the spread of cholera. The minister further said unplanned settlements will have to face rehabilitation where necessary in order for local authorities to access every place for cleaning purposes and relocation in some cases. We'll have details of that story in a while, but the Socialist Party Copper Belt spokesperson Regan Kashinga says the current cholera outbreak has dented President Hakainde Hichilema's image as global cholera control champion conferred on him by the Global Task Force on Cholera Control in May of 2022. President Hichilema officially accepted the prestigious international appointment at the World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland. At the time, Zambia had not recorded a single cholera death in several months. But the current cholera situation has seen Zambia record over 150 deaths since October 2023, with at least 850 people admitted in various centers countrywide. In a statement, Mr. Kashinga said cholera is spreading fast, mainly because government has failed to provide safe and clean water to many Zambians. Mr. Kashinga charged that the fight against cholera is being negatively affected by poor nutrition among Zambians due to household hunger. He has, however, reminded Zambians to play a part in fighting cholera by washing their hands regularly, boiling drinking water, making surroundings clean, and using a toilet whenever they're answering the call of nature. The Socialist Party has sympathized with the families which have lost their loved ones due to cholera. Let's now retake a story earlier read where the Cholera Task Force Committee, comprising of Local Government Minister Gary Nkombo, Water and Sanitation Minister Mike Mposha, Community Development and Social Services Minister Doreen Mwamba, and Health Minister Sylvia Masebo, have successfully launched the cholera vaccination program in one of the cholera hotspots, George Compound in Lusaka district. Let's get the details in this report.
We have closed this restaurant.
The Cholera Presidential Task Force has today successfully launched the cholera vaccine administration exercise in George Compound of Matero constituency successfully. Honorable Minister Sylvia Masebo said the task force committee will implement the law to make sure that the cholera epidemic is dealt with. She was speaking after the country has recorded 0 cholera deaths in the past 24 hours.
Reported cases of cholera and also bring the number of cholera deaths to 0 in the most shortest period of time. And this we shall achieve by ensuring that we begin to enforce the law. And most importantly, we are going to have a number of authorized officers that will be mandated to go into private, public buildings to inspect the sanitary conditions and indeed any unsanitary conditions that may actually cause an outbreak or cause cholera to other persons. Decisions will have to be taken, and this is the committee that has to make proposals to Cabinet on what we think should happen in terms of either resettling people or upgrading a particular settlement, and of course whether some houses in the process have to be demolished, and the issue of collection of garbage, and also anything that is causing cholera has to be corrected by this team going forward.
And local government minister Gary Nkombo said unplanned settlement will be restructured in order to bring sanity and prevent another cholera outbreak in the future.
We have to engage our citizens now countrywide in all the unplanned settlements to achieve a certain amount of sanity in order for us to make it easy for ourselves to avoid or circumvent the recurrence of infectious diseases such as cholera, typhoid, dysentery, and all those that are waterborne diseases. This means a continuous engagement of our people, and it may include having to identify different pieces of land in the peripheries of our cities that may be planned in a much more decent manner so that we can circumvent this. This may require availability of resources to try and resettle our people. As you all are aware, in places like George, in places like Nyama, in places like Marapodi, we are still using shallow pit latrines, and side to side with that we are also using shallow drinking wells.
Honorable Doreen Mwamba added that vulnerable citizens, people living with disability, children and the old people are the most exposed to cholera, hence the commencement of removing street children and relocating them to proper shelter.
This is with a realization that when as a ministry we went down to look at this problem the past 10 days, we have discovered that we didn't capture a lot of vulnerable people. And now we are retargeting, carrying out a research to find out who would want to move from these areas and where they would want to settle. So this is ongoing. We have experts on the ground as I'm speaking, and they will give us a report.
The Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation Minister Honorable Mike Mposha said his ministry is working hand in hand with other partners such as the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, Defense Wings, to put up water tanks in peri-urban areas to curb the spread of cholera.
We are putting in place various interventions, and I want to take advantage of our being here this morning just to brief the nation and members of the press that we had set a target of installing 235 water tanks of 10,000 liters capacity, and I wish to report that so far 175 tanks have been installed in various peri-urban areas. And it is in these areas where we are also burying shallow wells as directed by His Excellency the President. We are burying the shallow wells in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government through the councils. And where we are burying the shallow wells, we are providing water supply through the installation of these tanks, which are being supplied with water using water bowsers.
The minister said this is, however, a challenge for trucks handling this exercise to access some community points to either deliver water tanks or empty pit latrines, as passage to access some points proved to be impassable.
The issue of passage to access our targeted points, like the Minister of Local Government alluded to, you are dealing with these extreme unplanned settlements where moving a truck which is carrying a 10,000 liter tank to go deeper into the community is a challenge. And this is where you may have observed, and I think there have been some concerns by members of the communities to say that we are putting these tanks along some roads, maybe away from the deeper points of the communities. The challenge there is in accessing some parts of these peri-urban communities.
However, manual operations are implemented to empty pit latrines while water tanks are placed on the main road. Reporting for Hope TV News, Rejoice Mukoma in Lusaka.
You're watching the news on Hope Channel Zambia. Just now, we take a break. More stories still to come. To stay with us.
Great fun and maximum entertainment awaits you this January on Top Star. For a monthly subscription of 180 kwacha on Antenna Classic OD Smart. Brace yourselves for a roller coaster ride of daring revelations, laughter, and war moments as we premiere The First Lady in a Story of Wealth and Power Hunger starting January 10 on Novella E+, daily at 1950 hours. Extend your entertainment to the best of Bollywood on Z1 and action-packed blockbusters on ST Movies Plus and more in the comfort of your home. Ignite the little ones January by keeping up with the favorite Bluey for a good time and world-saving antiques on Boeing, Cartoon, Baby TV Plus more. Download the StarTimes On app now and enjoy content on the go. Subscribe 180 kwacha now. Top Star. Enjoy digital life.
Welcome to Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School.
Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School is enrolling pupils for the 2024 academic year in junior and senior secondary education. This educational institution is a co-Christian boarding school run by the Seventh-day Adventist Church and offers grade 8 to 12 education. Located on the outskirts, 5 kilometers north of Chisamba town in Central Province of Zambia, Chisamba District Education Board ranks the school third in academic performance in the district. With our conducive and learner-friendly environment, our pupils are able to excel tremendously in their academic journey.
Distance along a latitude, which is a small circle. So what formula do we use?
Our learners are imparted with vast knowledge in practical agricultural production units that will help them become entrepreneurs when they leave school.
My name is SINKOZI. I'm in grade 10B and I take agriculture. We grow crops so that it can provide for the school and supply for those that come here around to also buy them, so that it can also earn an income here.
They proudly bring their children to our school. They believe in the quality of education that is offered here.
We encourage you to bring your children to Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School. You have tried the rest, try the best now.
For more details, you can contact us on 0976261285 or 0979908216, or you can email us on Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School @gmail.com. Emmanuel Adventist Secondary School, training the head, the heart, and the hand.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. And now for the rest of the news. The Seventh-day Adventist Church, in collaboration with the Adventist Relief Agency, ADRA, Zambia, have stepped up to contribute to the fight against cholera in the country. The collaboration has seen the donation of 2,000 bottles of chlorine, 1,000 plastic buckets, and 1,000 bars of hygiene soap to Lusaka District Health Office. Speaking when making the donation on behalf of the church, Southern Zambia Union Conference Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Director, Pastor Evans Manjimela, said the church decided to make the donation in response to government's call of joining efforts in the fight against cholera. He said the church does not count the restrictions brought by the epidemic as a disruption, but an opportunity for mission. And Lusaka District Director of Health Services, Dr. Astrida Maseka, being represented by clinical care specialist Dr. Joel Sianchapa, said the donation made by the SDA Church will go a long way in helping the fight against cholera, as it is targeted at the cases in the community. We have details in this report. The cholera situation in Zambia can rightfully be described as the elephant in the house. It has become the responsibility of everyone in and around Zambia to play their part in stopping the spread, but also make meaningful contribution to alleviate the far-reaching effects of the epidemic that have seen many people, especially in Lusaka, admitted at the National Heroes Stadium. The Adventist Church in Zambia, working in collaboration with its humanitarian agency, a non-governmental organization, the Adventist Relief Agency, ADRA, has responded to the situation by donating goods, among them 2,000 bottles of chlorine, 1,000 buckets, and 1,000 bars of hygiene soap, all valued at 100,000 kwacha, to Lusaka District Health Office to help at least 500 households fight cholera at household level. ADRA Country Director Kennedy Habasimbi, speaking when dispatching the items from ADRA office, said his organization responds to the challenges of the community in form of help when in crisis and development when there is peace.
As ADRA, we exist for the community, and in times like this, when we have a crisis like we are facing the cholera crisis, ADRA comes on board. Just like when we have times of peace, ADRA comes on board with development. And in this situation, ADRA, in partnership with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we have partnered to, in a special way, show also our little contribution, which is just the beginning of what we can do together. And so today, we will be handing over 1,000 buckets. We have 2,000 bottles of chlorine. We have also 1,000 bars of soap, which will go to 500 families, basically as a way of our contribution to help in the fight against cholera.
And Southern Zambia Union Conference Communications Director Elimei Chibende said the church takes seriously the preaching of God's word to an extent of demonstrating the works in action as Christ will demand at his second return.
We take preaching seriously as Seventh-day Adventists, but we also take the words of Jesus in Matthew 25, where he says, I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. He asks us to show our Christianity through action. So today, as we donate all these things, we are being practical Christians. It is our prayer that all these families that are getting these packages will not only get physical healing, but that they also get spiritual healing.
Meanwhile, Southern Zambia Union Conference Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Director, Pastor Evans Manjimela, speaking when he handed over the donated items to the Lusaka District Health Office, said responding to the current cholera situation in the country is not an interruption in the mission of the church, but that the action is in response to the bidding
We
of
can
Jesus.
take an initiative and respond to the call for the community and the other bodies in the country to respond to the challenge that we have of cholera in the country. And we thought in a small way we can come and participate and make a small donation. Many times I think, Doctor, we realize that when there is an activity like this one, it's part of mission. It's not an interruption in the mission of the church. We are responding exactly what Jesus sent us to do. I recall that it is in Matthew chapter 4 and verse 23 where the Bible says, and Jesus went all over Galilee doing three things: teaching, preaching, and healing. And the last portion of that verse says, healing all manner of diseases and sicknesses. And when there is a challenge like this one, the church should move from the pulpit to the community and respond. And this is exactly that we are trying to do as a church, working together as a team. And so when we do this, it's not just for the sake of the members in the community, we are also doing on behalf of Jesus Christ.
Speaking when he received the items on behalf of Miss Astrida Maseka, the Director Health Services, Lusaka District Health Office Clinical Care Specialist, Dr. Jolwe Sianchapa said the donation from the SDA Church will go a long way as it is targeted at the community side of the fight against cholera.
I'd love to acknowledge that the donation and gift that is given is really well patented and targeted at the community side of cholera, which is where our cases are coming from. So this chlorine, these buckets, this soap will go a long way in ensuring that we are preventing this disease of cholera, and indeed prevention is better than cure. So thank you so much. The common point between your jurisdiction and ours is the human being, the individual. So we would love to see such gestures of love and partnership continue. Of course, with ADRA and all other churches out there, please feel free to come on board and help in preserving the lives of our fellow Zambians.
On the other hand, Lusaka District Public Health Specialist Dr. Lalisa Nambeye has disclosed that the District Health Office has set up oral hydration points with public health nurses stationed at those points to help those with cholera symptoms access help prior to reaching the cholera centers, especially in Matero and Kanyama.
There are public health nurses or nurses that are stationed at some of these, if not most of these points in Lusaka district, most of them being in Kanyama and Matero as they are the hardest hit. So we would urge everyone to visit these points prior to making it to the health facility so that we don't see a lot of BIDs coming into our facilities. So with that being said, I think we would urge and would encourage your members to visit our points in the event that they do have vomiting or diarrhea.
The fight against and prevention of cholera cuts beyond religious affiliation. Gestures like this should be encouraged by all. Bright SINKOZI, Hope News, Lusaka. Now, a 48-year-old man of Chaima village in Chief Mpamba's area in Lundazi district of Eastern Province has died after he was stabbed with a sharp object in the head over adultery allegations. Eastern Province Deputy Police Commanding Officer Stephen Mayoko has confirmed the death of the man in a statement. Mr. Mayoko said the incident happened between January 11th and 12th, 2024, after Mapili was stabbed in the head with a sharp object and died later at Lundazi District Hospital, where he was hospitalized. He said Mapili had gone to drink beer at Kalungambeba Trading Center and decided to go back home at 18 hours but did not reach home. Mr. Mayoko said the next morning a female passerby saw some blood stains along the road which led to the bush where she found Mapili lying unconscious. He said Mapili was rushed to Lundazi District Hospital where he was admitted and died in the early hours of 13th January 2024. Mr. Mayoko said circumstances leading to the death of Mapili are that sometime back in December last year, he was caught committing adultery with another man's wife. The husband of the woman caught in the sexual act, by the name of Shadrach Ziambo, 30, took the matter to Zimwanda Local Court, whose judgment was set for January 17, 2024. However, Mr. Mayoko said that on January 12 this year, police received a report from 68-year-old Misho Chipeta that his nephew, Paul Mapili, sustained deep cuts on his head and was found unconscious in the bush. Mr. Mayoko said the police instituted investigations which led to the arrest of Ziambo after they discovered a green t-shirt he was wearing the previous day stained with blood. Mr. Mayoko disclosed that the suspect was initially detained in police custody for unlawful wounding, but said will now appear in court for murder following the death of a man he attacked. And finally, in our news today, Chief Milo of Serenje District says newly installed Senior Chief Muchinda Kankomba Welala III has demonstrated rare leadership by empowering elderly subjects with assorted items to alleviate their challenges. The traditional leader has since urged subjects in Muchinda Chiefdom to emulate the gesture by the senior chief. This came to light in Serenje when Senior Chief Muchinda Kankomba Welala III handed over a hammer mill, milling mill, blankets, sugar and cooking oil to over 150 aged people and those with disabilities. The senior chief also handed over bicycles to all his headmen, exceeding 28. Meanwhile, Muchinda Royal Establishment Development Trust Cooperative Development Manager James Kamanga said the need to take care of the aged in society is a biblical principle. Mr. Kamanga said parents must be honored because they play a tough role of raising up children into responsible adults. He encouraged subjects to support Senior Chief Muchinda in his endeavor to transform the chiefdom to their benefit. He was speaking in a speech read on his behalf by Insaka Yelala representative Willard Chilamba.
Ekintu ekyanguka okukwata etontonkanyo irishayiwa minange ifya kitaba chifu Muchinda kulolesha okutotela ukokutayiwa mina ukulolesha mufikolwe ifikosangwa muno ama problems vale shingwa anana yena ukutampila kubana abakulu na kuchirisha abafyashi beswabo abalina emyaka eshingesha kwe batite kuti bayiloleshe efyo twamona enjinga baliko nakabunga notwa kufimbana muntu bwena mubunono fidafine tuli umuntu upela mutima nangulo kwate tontonkanyo ili akuchite ekintu ekirungami ku muntu munangwe
mwe filolo basurutani na bekashi aba mwa Muchinda fyenke vivyo mwaola ule mpundu bakupokelela ubupyo bwafuma kulishika nkomba na kuli bakankomba ba Muchinda abo abamitira pamo efi mulo kuyeli mwaule mpundu mumushi omo muikele ukwawile mfumu yenu bantu nomba tamopo bana banshiwa aikono kuikala bumutashafiri muitobo amwafuma pano kwayeli mufuteme bili musonta kumunuma twakana okusunga mfumu kwasuka obwite amwamfu abakankomba batumaka seba mumushi kamuba bakusontonkana.
That item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, let's recap on stories that made headlines. And sanitary restaurants at Kolima Tower bus station have been closed. The Socialist Party claims that President Hakainde Hichilema's image is being dented by the current cholera situation in the country. The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, alongside the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Zambia, have donated goods worth 100,000 kwacha to fight cholera in Lusaka district. And a 48-year-old man of Lundazi district in Eastern Province has been murdered on allegation of adultery. Thank you so much for your time. On behalf of the entire studio and production crew, I'm Bright SINKOZI alongside George KALIMUKWA, our sign language interpreter. Keep watching Hope Channel Zambia, television that changes lives. Bye for now.